Hi, my name is Brian Kernigan, and I will be talking about the visual learners. Everyone learns differently, and teachers need to be aware of this. When communicating with students, it is very important to understand the student. In this video, I will explain how students store information, the types of learners in the classroom, and how to use visual math. Through these ideas, I'll explain how to teach elementary mathematics by means of visual communication and visual learners. To start out, we have two different types of theories of how kids grasp and store information. First, we have rote learning. Rote learning theory in the classroom is getting left behind. Rote learning is a memorization of information based on repetition. For example, rote learning in elementary can be seen with the alphabet. The alphabet is repeated over and over again until the student grasps and retain to be able to recall the information. Like I said before, rote learning is a way of the past, and now teachers are starting to base their teaching on meaningful learning. Meaningful learning is knowledge that's being processed and is related to previous knowledge. Meaningful learning has a much higher retention rate. By teaching them material and be able to look into the past and relate this information in new material, it helps them gain and store the information. So again, rote learning is learning by repetition, and meaningful learning is by connecting the past to the present, by finding to relate the subject to another subject. Next, we have different types of learners in the classroom. Again, this is a theory, and the theory states that there's three different types of learners. First, there's the kinesthetic learner. Kinesthetic learners best gain knowledge by being involved. Not showing them how to be, but physically being involved in the process. For example, playing baseball. A kinesthetic learner doesn't get shown how to play baseball, but is given a glove and a bat and is put out onto the playing field. He best learns by actually playing, not by being shown how to, by listening or by visually seeing it. Next is the auditory learner. It's pretty much what it sounds like. Auditory learners gain information by listening. Listening to the teachers gives them information which is processed and stored into memory, and this is how auditory learners best gain knowledge, is by listening and by being taught through words, and that's a type of communication. Another type of communication that can be used in the classroom for learning is visual communication, and visual communication is what my main focus point is. Visual learners, they learn best by looking at graphics. Visual learners use their eyes to understand. So this is where I've seen in the classroom myself, this is where I've seen kids not be able to stay up with the class. For example, multiplication. Multiplication in the classroom for elementary school students is taught by rote learning, which I talked about earlier, which is repetition, repetition, repetition. But now I want to use meaningful learning, and by meaningful learning I mean by using pictures and graphics, which relates to the visual learner. For example, when multiplying, kids often find it hard because they can't see it. They just see the numbers and that's all they know. And as you can see in my graph on my slideshows, that we use pictures such as triangles and or anything like food or chicken nuggets, tacos, anything, just so they can visually see it. Now we can draw these pictures several times and group them together so the kids can visually see what multiplying actually is. By showing the kids visually, this can help the visual learner.